All right, y'all, so today we're gonna talk about how to drain your water heater, something you should be doing about once a year, ideally. So first of all, you're gonna wanna find your water heaters. Usually it's gonna be in a closet on the outside of your house. Sometimes it's on the inside or in your garage. But you're gonna find it, open it up, make sure you have access. The things you're gonna need are a hose and potentially a screwdriver, depending on the type of water heater you have. Real quickly, just to kind of go over the major piece of your water heater. So this is your water heater tank. Up at the top, you have where your cold water comes in. You have where your hot water goes out. This is a gas water heater, which is pretty common. And so you're gonna have a flue for the exhaust gases to go out at the top. And then this is gonna be your gas line coming in. Sometimes it's gonna be a black pipe. Sometimes it might be a yellow pipe, corrugated pipe that looks like this. And then this is essentially the gas regulator, and under there is the igniter. We don't need to mess with any of the gas, so you don't need to turn the gas off or touch any of this. You have a valve. There should be one on the cold water side. It's hard to see here, but sometimes it'll be labeled or it'll be blue. You're gonna turn that valve off. Then we're gonna take our hose, and there will be a point with hose threads you can connect to. It might look slightly different. It might be brass colored, but either way, it should just be some exposed threads. It might have a little cap on it, and so we're just gonna connect it right there. Okay, and then once you've got it connected, just make sure the other end of your hose is away from your house, away from if it's inside, make sure it's out of the house. Make sure that it's not near any electrical outlets or anything like that. So we're just gonna put it out in the yard. On this particular water heater, all we have to do is turn this little white piece about a quarter turn. You can hear the water start to drain out of it. And if you give it a minute, you should start to see it at the end of your hose. And sometimes what can happen is you can end up, because we shut the water into the water heater off, sometimes there can be some suction preventing it from wanting to drain. If that's the case, what we can do is actually go and open back up this valve a little bit. That is going to allow more cold water in, but it's going to push it out the bottom. So you see, as soon as we do that, it's going to start draining out. And the water coming out, if it's been a little while since it's been done, is likely to be really muddy or rust colored. That's a sign of all the debris that we're essentially cleaning out of the bottom of the tank. This one is honestly looking pretty clear, so it's not that bad. We bought this house about a year ago, so they must have done it pretty shortly before that. So you're just gonna do that, run it for about 2 minutes or so. A little longer isn't gonna hurt. You're just gonna flush more water through it. But two minutes should make sure you get the majority of the water out. And then you just go right back over, turn that valve again all the way to the right. The one thing that I mentioned could be different here is if you don't have this little white valve, you might have a brass valve that on top has a place for a flathead screwdriver. So you're gonna do the same steps, but when you connect your hose, instead of turning this little white piece, you're actually gonna take a screwdriver and turn it counterclockwise to open that up, and same thing, you'll hear the water start to come out. So that's how to drain your water heater.
Hey.